How much money has the city received from marijuana?
Since we started receiving the money, we received a little bit more than $1.9 million. That, we first received it in 2021.
2021? Okay, so what about this year?
This year, we haven't received this year's allocation. That normally arrives in February.
So hold on, so you said you haven't received this year's?
We haven't received anything this year. That will show up in February 2026.
Okay, so nothing this year?
Mr.
No,
Moore, I think that it's confusion. She's talking about 2025 versus fiscal year 26.
Okay,
And you're thinking fiscal year.
If you're talking about 2025, in February 2025, we received $640,515.
Okay. Okay, 640,000. All right. And so what have we spent this revenue on? Well, what have,
Most of it is going to support the cannabis office.
the what?
The cannabis enforcement office. We spend approximately $570,000 a year for the cannabis office.
Okay.
There's also some other monies that's spent in the planning and enforcement. They have to inspect the operations every year. We don't track that separately, but we're assuming that's part of. There's a cost involved for that. We just don't have the exact dollar amount for that part of it.
If I followed what she was deducing also is there was a $70,000 net, but it really was more than a $70,000 net. If I'm understanding, because there was.
That would be correct, yes.
Okay, so I guess going back to what I was understanding her line of questioning being, what happened then, or how did we utilize, it wasn't $70,000, it might have been closer to 270 or 370. What have we done with that money?
It's just part of the general fund. The state
So if I'm hearing what you're saying, then it got taken out of the marijuana department and put back into the general fund.
Right. We follow the guidance from the Department of Treasury, the Department of Treasury says these are unrestricted funds.
I get that. So how then do we, or are we just saying as a, because they're probably, for myself as a resident, I might have been willing to trade the inconveniences, I'll call it, that come with legalizing or having these shops and different things available, because on the back end, there's gonna be some tax monies collected that's going to be what I would hope to be meaningful and in a way that I can see. But
Request for information. Councilman Jared, so do you understand that that money could also be used for home repairs that the residents been asking
I
about?
follow that, but when it gets just sent back to the general fund and it gets commingled with everything, I almost can't say that it sort of gets commingled and lost in the sauce. That's what I'm saying.
I understand, but that's the rules that the state set, so.
I got it. But I guess, because I was probably expecting, or my expectation coming out of this is that we would be able to identify where the money went. That's what and I think that, not to speak for the councilwoman in the second ward, but I would almost have made an assumption that was where we were going with this, or be able to go.
The state doesn't require that. There's some funds where they require that explicitly, but this is not one of them.
Okay, I yield.
Hi, Mr. Moore.
Hi.
So, I mean, is this something we should be concerned about? Because I really just feel having this discussion with these funds, because they're unrestricted, that there may have been some inappropriateness. I like to shoot right down the middle, because this, and I'm catching all kind of different stuff over here. And so when people give us special orders, specifically on something with unrestricted funds, what's being done with them. Is there anything inappropriate being done that we should know about with these funds?
No, we're being very careful that we follow the law explicitly for all.
I mean, I get concerned when Councilwoman Liddell Lewis states it could be used for home repair when she did not support that before.
The state of Michigan says these funds are unrestricted. They're part of the general fund.
Okay, so what have we been using it on besides
It's just,
salaries, fringe benefits?
it'd be for anything in the general fund would be appropriate.
But when we're taking it out, and Paul stepped up. So Paul, can you answer? No.
I just want to clarify.
Paul, like, no.
The money is in the budget. It's budgeted, approved by you to be spent according to the budget. I mean, this accusation about inappropriate spending really irritates me. Okay? And that's all I'm going to say. This is the most honest man I've ever met in my life, and I'm sick of the accusations.
So let me say this. Let me say this, because when we see this, I didn't put this on here. So let me be clear. When this comes up and I'm listening to my colleagues, we have the right to ask you if there's something, because it just doesn't come up. And I don't smoke marijuana, but some people do. And so when we're getting this out the blue and it's not budget time and we're being told, no one said no one's stealing, that's why we asked. That's why it was asked.
Yeah.
And when it was said we should know, I believe that the money could be spent on home repairs.
It's in
And
the
this was
general
not,
fund.
this was not my special order. And so that is what council does. Council makes sure, and I didn't put it up here.
Yeah, I have no problems with it. The question, the only problem I have is I didn't have as much time as I would like to prepare for it.
And let me be clear, I don't know your last name. Morley?
Borley, B-O-R-L-E.
Thank you, I always, so Borley. It's not saying, and I like Mr. Moore, but when we have a CFO, sometimes the questions, when we're getting this, and it's a question regarding marijuana, and I'm looking at faces and expressions, and maybe you don't see that. This was not mine, then we have to ask the clear, and I like to put it because the public wants to know. And so if he states nothing is wrong, then Mr. Morley, we have to accept that. I want to clear the air because we're saying, well, you know, it could, point of question, order, you could be using this on home repair, and I'm getting it from someone who never supported home repair before.
What,
So,
point of order.
Go ahead.
Okay, so she's speaking to my motives. There is nothing that signifies that I do not support home repair.
so it's just really.
You voted multiple times for home repair.
I know.
And so she's voted no several times for it also. So let's make
Request
that clear.
point of
She
order.
didn't vote for it every time.
Which
and that's
point?
a fact, not
Okay,
speaking to her motives.
again, she's speaking to motives and she's not telling the truth.
Not only that, but you must leave things that happened in the past in the past. That is
Where does it state that?
that is in Robert's rules. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but is
Go
it
ahead.
where's it
Continue
for us?
discussion.
Y'all can keep making up rules, but I want to be clear with this. I'm looking at this. I didn't bring this up, Paul. I'm not questioning marijuana because I actually trust what they do when I have a conversation with the people who run it. So I don't know when our deposits come in. I don't know. But when it's raised, I think it's a fair thing when it's Mr. Moore's job to answer for us. And so I didn't bring this up. But the conversations got really interesting in the sidebars did. So Mr. Moore, we have nothing to be worried about, correct? Because I want to put that to rest before you walk away from the lectern or the podium. So we're good, Paul. Mr. Morley, are we good? Borley, I know. I'm sorry. So listen, I just want to make sure everything else that we're walking away, nothing's being done inappropriate with the money. It can go into the general fund. It is in unrestricted funds. And I don't know why, request for information. Councilman Lewis, why did you bring this forward?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Is she not answering?
No.
Okay, so she doesn't want to answer. Okay. I yield the floor. Thank you.
Thank you.
both
Any
of
other
you.
discussion? Go ahead, Dr. Lewis.
Thank you. And so I wanted to answer it during my time because I don't want to inappropriately take the floor. And so it was brought up because it is time for us to continue to do our jobs and be good stewards of the money. And so since we have a lot of time to do our jobs now, we're not stuck at a crazy impasse for no reason. It's time for us to dig deep and see what's happening. And so understanding how other municipalities are using marijuana money for innovative things. This is nothing against the marijuana office. This is about when the money is placed in the general fund, what are we doing with it? And it's so sad to see how I'm getting so much, energy for no reason when people say they support home repairs. If we identify funds that can be used for home repairs, then we can take this to the body, we can vote on it for the residents to have home repairs. But what we were talking about initially, when you were saying I didn't vote, I always voted in favor of home repair, but we had a certain amount allocated for it. We just can't grab money out of the air and throw it there. Just like with this, if we have an understanding that marijuana brings in $640,000, and then we continue to talk about how much money after that office is funded, how much money is placed in the general fund, that's extra money that can be used for the residents. Now, I do apologize that you don't like me enough to understand that this is for the residents. And so if this body, if they're interested in utilizing the marijuana funds for the residents, we can move forward. But just want to know how administration been using it, because we haven't been using it, haven't been going to the residents. Who have benefit from this money? And that is my question. So I do apologize, I'm not the person to ask, but I would like to know, and that's why I brought the special order to the floor, just so we can have a grasp on where this money is going, where it's landing. And so it's nothing about what your job, nothing about the office. It's about what are we doing, because this body, we get it confused a lot of the times. We handle budget and we handle ordinances. That is what we do. That is how we utilize our power. So asking about these funds and seeing how we can utilize these funds in the best interest of the residents, that's our job. Now, if you don't want to do it, that's fine. But this is why I put this special order here, so we can get an understanding. So thank you for telling me about the $640,000. Thank you for breaking down how the office costs $570,000 and how we have a surplus that's put into the general fund. Now it's at the pleasure of this body if they just want to move forward and not touch it, or if we can do something good with it. Because with this revenue money, I mean, we can have, I know that they voted down the ward spending. That's fine if they don't want to spend the money in their ward. That's fine. But we can utilize marijuana money to continue to supplement our ward spending going forward. No, I don't know what resident wouldn't want us to have some money so we can do things with neighborhood associations, so we can get rid of blight. I don't know. But if my colleagues don't want to do it, I'm one person, body of nine, that's fine. But I'm just trying to seek information. That's all I'm doing. No accusations, because I don't do that.